That should be pretty good. Okay. So this tells me that Bobby Jones, had he grown up in this era, would have no trouble getting golf clubs like this to go 117 miles an hour and bust drives uphill at Congressional. So I got 291 carry, 309 total, only because it's a little uphill, with ease. It was easy for me to go get that kind of distance because, and this is something that Bryson DeChambeau has uncorked the secret in the last couple of years, when he decided he was going to go for more distance and not stay with the status quo. And you'll notice that when he performs his backswing, that lead knee is now coming all the way back. Notice how he's turning his whole backside to the target. And when he changes directions, notice there's an incredible amount of rotational momentum and gathering in that kinetic chain. So because he is so centered at the top of his backswing, he is ready to grab the ground with his lead side. Now the lead side can take the whole rack of this loaded arm club unit and pull it out into the direction that he wants to start the ball. So it's not about pulling down, it's not about pushing on the club, it's not about right hand versus left hand. It's about the engagement of that wonderful human kinetic chain to, maximize that kinematic sequence. And this is already built into you. You're already Pinocchio without the strings. And when that kinetic chain kicks in, it's unstoppable. You really don't have to hit the ball hard. So as an example, if I take a shot here, I'm going to set up a ball and I'm going to go with huge range of motion. And I'm going to swing through to a big finish, but I'm going to try and hit this driver 175 maximum in the air. Here we go. So that, on a scale of 1 to 10, was a 1 out of 10 for effort. And look at this. Still over 300 yards. Like, I really didn't try to go for that. Look at that nice center contact. Notice my club speed went down to 107. My ball speed's at now 158, but look at my carry, still at 286. So gather that backswing. Notice I got the range of motion. Now all I'm going to do is throw the club in the direction I want that ball to start. And here's the secret. All we need is a simple task that's going to get us to send the energy of the swing in that direction, not this direction. The ball can never be your target. If the ball's your target, you're going to lose lag. You're going to cancel your weight shift. You're going to cancel that beautiful clearing of your hips. But if the target's out there and you're taking this club and you're throwing it in that direction, well, let's look at what that looks like. The brain's going to have to go get the ground. Use the ground to get the body out of the way so I have access to the target. You want a simple task for this? Take a ball. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this ball, we're going to send it in that direction. So like an underhand toss in softball. Notice if the body doesn't move out of the way, my arm collides into my rib cage and I end up throwing the ball in the opposite direction. So in order for the ball to go this way, the brain says, need the ground, use the ground to get out of the way so I have access that way. The backswing is no different. I want to toss this ball over here. There you go. So notice how my arm has to have free access in that direction. So if my leg doesn't use the ground to remove my rib cage and pelvis out of the way, then guess what? You get a pec full of bicep, and then the arm collapses, the other arm collapses, you get no width, no power, no speed. But if I gather with a big turn, when you turn the body, it doesn't mean that the arms are going to come inside. That has nothing to do. So the direction of your arms has nothing to do with the rotation of the body. If I'm hammering a nail into something, so I'm going to get my T's here. Imagine this is a nail, and I wanted to hammer that nail in the direction of the target. So it looks like this, right? So I want to hammer that in that direction. So here we go. That feels like I can bust it in the direction of that, tarp. Here we go. See that? Out of the way, out of the way. So notice how I'm able to hammer in that direction. Look what it looks like down the line now. I can't hammer toward the target from here. I can't hammer toward the target. Can't. However, yes, I can. There it is. Going to the target. Going to the target. Going to the target. See how that works? So, when I put that ball on the tee, and presenting hammer. So from here, it feels like I can hammer in the direction of the target. Have a look at my favorite drill, Sean's favorite drill on our premium channel. And if you go to YouTube, you'll see the jackknife drill. So I get in my position. Now I'm going to hammer that in the direction of the target. And look at how straight that sucker gets out of there. Isn't that pretty? Come on, kick left. Oh yeah. And look at what we got here. So, see how nice and straight that was? 296 carry, 117 miles an hour. Ball speeds at 165, 296 carry. So there's where you get effortless power. That was extremely easy for me to do. If my job, full-time job, was to take a sledgehammer and use a sledgehammer into a railroad tie all day, it would look like this, and I would notice how I'm using my legs to perform that task. That's where when we get that engagement of that kinetic chain, so you'll see on our premium channel, the series is called Kinetic Chain Facilitation Series. And in that series right there, we have a section where we do fairway woods and irons, and we're walking and sending divots into the trees, or in the driver's case, T-tips. So if I start here, notice where the club wants to pass. See the nice blur of the club with the lines that I put on it? That's so you can easily see that. Now my brain knows exactly how much to step. See that? Now I'm sending the tee into the screen. So I see where it's passing. Send it into the screen. So it feels extremely easy to gather the tip of the tee and send it out there. So if I do the same thing with the golf ball now, there we go. So I'm sending T-tips in there. So I observe where my blur is passing. Very good. Sending the T-tip out into the screen. How fun is that? That was just a smidge off center, a little toward the heel, and that probably brought up my spin a little bit, so 116 miles an hour. Yeah, see my backspin's at 2,600. that carry was only 280. See where we're going? So, Bobby Jones, bless you, sir. Thanks for showing us the way. It only took us a little over, about 100 years to fall back into the proper mold and get rid of all this resistance in the swing and open up the machine so that we can get the enjoyment and the distance that we richly deserve. All the best. See you next week.